Let's get some people in here. Hopefully you'll watch the replay if this stays up. And we got our morning coffee, so let's switch everything over. Is this out? Get some people in here. Notifications. Jeff, you are first. Yay! Man, last night was an interesting night for the YouTubes. We're going to get into that. No, I'm not going to get into the drama, but I'm going to make some comments. And because there was some really good advice that was mentioned last night. So we'll rinse out our cup. It's cold here in Harrisonville, Missouri. Southbound called me, it was hilarious. Yeah, Provost, you missed it, but I can send you some videos where you can see some of what went down because it was taken down. So here's the deal, man. So let's get this party started. Get people in here, share, because I got a few things to talk about. Alrighty. Got some things in here I want to talk about. All right. Here we go. Don't drive around in a pecan grove. I don't know what everybody's talking about because I'm not subscribed to Hensley, but I guess I'll have to go check that out. Nothing Hensley. I just I filtered a lot of people out on my things, but I don't know what happened in a pecan grove or something, but that's not what this video. An accident he was involved in. And he was describing the situation. He was on the phone and a car hit him in the trailer, bounced, around. So, and there's witnesses that saw it that took Coach's side, but the car driver is like freaking out, and this guy's going to be Sue happy, right? So Big Rig CEO James, he called in and basically was telling Coach, number one, you don't want to talk about an accident on social media. I believe it was one of our fellow YouTubers had an accident a while back. It wasn't his fault. He was parked at a truck stop. Another company hit him, and he was told not to keep that social media up. He couldn't talk about it or nothing, right? So, because once a person lawyers up, you have to watch your P's and Q's, and that's what James was trying to tell Jason, right? And because he's dealt with that personally, right? And if you have an accident, whether it's your fault or not, lawyers want to sue the trucking companies, period, right? There's a case, and hopefully this person will talk about it, where a relative of his was driving along and was on his phone with the Bluetooth, okay? The lady sideswiped him on the interstate. They had multiple witnesses that said it was the car driver's fault. But the lawyer went after the trucking company and was able to get $150,000 from the trucking company to the car driver because he was on his phone. Regardless if it's his fault or not, it's, you got the law, and then you got, like, if you go to a court and there's a jury, what's the lawyer going to do? They're going to get sympathy from the jury. That's what they're trying to do, right? And I'll get to the comments here. I don't want to. I'm not that guy that ignores comments. I just want to get my thoughts out there, right? Because we're having morning coffee thoughts, right? And so people that do live feeds while driving, not a good idea, because here's what happens. Let's say today I do a live feed while driving, which Jeff wouldn't like that. And I'm just like, oh, I'm reading comments, we're having a good time, I'm going down the interstate. And, and nothing happens from it, right? But the next day, I get involved in a fatality accident, right? Whether it's my fault or not, doesn't matter. So what happens is the family's upset because they want to blame the truck driver. They want to blame the trucking company. So here's what happens. The lawyer is able to get cell phone records of the driver, looks at all of his social media accounts, and then sees, wow, this guy has a history of doing live feeds going down the road. This guy has a history of texting while going down the road. And now they've got grounds to get money. It's not about the law, it's about money, right? And that's what James was trying to tell Jason. Number one, you don't want to be putting out on social media that this accident happened while you're on the phone. And number two, just because witnesses were there, just because it isn't your fault, doesn't mean that a lawsuit can't happen. And according to Coach's story, the driver is already fighting, right? So that means there's going to be a lawsuit, because the car driver is going to try to keep from getting any fault. But even if it is his fault, he's going to go after, or the lawyer is going to go after the trucking company. Insurance companies make a lot of money and they don't want to pay. So what do? They do lawsuits. They want to get the money from the other insurance companies, right? And that's what James was trying to say. But then it turned into a whole ugly back and forth thing, and then Coach took the video down. So and there's multiple accounts out there that have put a 10-minute clip of the interaction between James and Jason. It was not pretty, but they go by. Here's the problem with social media. They go by. There are multiple incidents where people have died doing live feeds, right? And there are states that like, there's a state where if you're driving on the road and you're drinking a cup of coffee, that's distracted driving. States are getting really sensitive about what is distracted driving. Like Georgia's got a law that they see people with the phone in their hand and are like, you were texting. And they're like, no, I was setting up a song on Spotify or something. And they're like, well, your phone is to never be in your hand while the vehicle is in motion. That's the Georgia law. And Maryland does something similar. And it's and that's why the ELD is kind of a blessing when it comes to liability, because back in the day, if you had an accident that caused massive property damage, injury, or death, they would go over your paper logs with the fine-tooth comb. And the minute that you're able to put Mobile Max or Qualcomm's in the truck, now they got something to compare it to. The minute the first cell phone got in the first truck, it was over, because now that cell phone can be pinged. And if it doesn't match your paper logs, you're screwed. So all these guys with the older trucks are like, oh, I don't have paper logs, or I've got paper logs, that kind of thing. Cell phone in your truck. I don't care if it's an old school flip phone or that big phone that's like the size of this cup, in the bag phone. It's still an electronic device that you could be tracked with, right? Warner was $90 million, absolutely. So James was just trying to help Coach because he was being argued with on the whole thing. Now, this is why Schneider, JB Hunt, KLM, they all have cell phone policies that you sign saying that you aren't, like I think KLM if you have an incident, they're pulling your phone, and if they see that you were on the phone, instant firing. Schneider, you're not supposed to be on it at all, right? Schneider tells you to turn off your CB radio in orientation because they don't want you distracted. They want you to literally be holding the steering wheel, staring straight ahead, doing this, the entire 11 hours, right? And JB Hunt has a similar thing, and that they do that for the liability, right? And that created another argument, and here's my advice. If you're involved in an accident, number one, you don't want to give details on social media, because eventually that can come back and bite you. And if you're already dealing with the he said, she said, here's proof, here's a witness, and all that stuff, you might still win that case because you're in the right. However, how much lawyers and back and forth and trials and everything else, legal proceedings, will it take to prove that you're not at fault? How much would it take to prove that, yes, you're on your phone, but you're okay? Or yes, it wasn't your fault. That can eat a small guy up. That can eat a small company up. It might take $100,000 in lawyer fees to prove that you weren't at fault to keep from paying millions. And I don't know about you, but I don't have an extra $100,000 lying around, right? So, and so whenever a lawyer is trying to build a case, they're going to look at all your social media. They're going to look at everything that you've done, whether you take the video down or not. It is out there, right? Never give details, right? And so it was good advice that was probably, I don't know, and there was a lot of people insulting bigrigceo, like, oh, all of a sudden he's a lawyer or whatever. No, he knows this by experience because he's been through similar things. He and I are really good friends with not one, but two safety directors at big companies. And they'll tell you all about it. They've dealt with fatalities. They've dealt with cell phone violations. They've dealt with what lawyers look for because they're trained to know what lawyers are looking for. It's not about the law. It's about what lawyers, how much money can we get? I mean, you go down any southern highway, southern interstate, Mississippi, Louisiana, Alabama, it seems like there's an overabundance of those billboards that say hurt by a truck accident, and it's got this lawyer, doing the death metal pose, and there's even a billboard with a long-haired, like Fabio-looking dude on riding the tiger, saying, "We can help you get money from the trucking companies," right? And lawyers want money. That's what they do. And whether it's the insurance companies fighting each other or you're doing a lawsuit for the actual trucking company, lawyers get that money no matter what. If someone sued, say, like a small trucking company, and it was a frivolous lawsuit, guess what? The lawyers are still getting paid. They might throw out the case in court, but it still costs that trucking company to hire a lawyer to make sure it gets thrown out in court. Do you see what I'm saying? And if it gets dragged out, that's more money, right? So James was only trying to give advice, and it turned into this whole ugly thing. The coach took the live feed down, and smartly, that was smart. So I just want to put that out there, right? You like the death metal pose, and social media is such a dangerous ground. It's you put yourself. See, Truth Defiant 2 just put up a video, bigrigceo versus truckers coach. So we're trying to fan the flames of a war, right? And social media, like I'll give you a perfect example. You guys want me to be honest with you? So there was a video I did live, and here's what happened. So I was picking up a load there in Springfield, Missouri, and I noticed I had a clearance light out in this truck. I don't have the tools to fix it because they got these special bolts. I figured, well, if anything goes south, so I took it to Kenworth as I was getting loaded, and so I was kind of hoping I can get back within an hour, right? And it turned into this big cluster because it wasn't just a simple pull a light out, put it in. It turned into this whole thing. And I watched the guy. It wasn't the mechanic's fault. It was just the circumstance of the situation, And I got to watch the time because I don't want to be late for this load. So I went live to vent, and I didn't insult Kenworth. I didn't insult the mechanic. I was just mad about the situation. And I got a call from someone like Trucking that's no longer here and said, dude, you got to kind of watch it. You got to kind of watch the image that you're putting out there for Like Trucking. And he goes, I understand you weren't mad at Kenworth and you weren't mad at the mechanic because it turned into like a 2.5 hour ordeal, right? But and luckily, it took him like 4 hours to load me that day, which is kind of rare for that shipper. But I was warned to kind of, you don't want to put that negative image out there for the company. Like, oh, look at all the light guys. They have attitudes, and, why would I want to work over there? They must be upset or whatever. They must be not happy over there and stuff. And I thought about that, and that was true. Truth that there's an image to uphold, right? So I vowed that I would never like do a vent, after that. And Schneider watches that stuff. Other companies watch that stuff. Swift, you can't even be a YouTuber to be over there because social media is their worst enemy besides themselves, right? So, and that's why companies are installing dash cams and driver facing cameras, because the liability of driving these trucks is insane. If you guys would ever sit down and think about what the risk and liability is as a driver, as a company driver, as an owner operator, as a carrier, it is tremendous because of lawyers and insurance. They rule the world. So let's go with comments here, right? All right lane. Okay, let's do some shout outs. We got Big Rig Radio Network, Michael N, Chuck Reynolds, Provost, the Fishing Trucker, hello. Scott, SRO Logistics, Nothing Witty, good morning. I'm thinking about making coffee. Will you do it, RD? You do it. Adam Matthew, good morning. Something, Right Lane, Ratman Roden, what's up? Top Flight, Flatbed. Don't drive around in a pecan grove, right? Right Lane, I've got one more load. Then if I can find a couple of shorties for the weekend, I'll do it. So I'm not home just yet. It's 31 near Houston. It's the sign of the end times, right? TC. I was on the phone with Pros yesterday, and in Oklahoma it was colder than it was in Jersey at that point. Let's see. Out of service. Oh no. Who's out of service, Jeff? Logic Neo posted that call between him and Coach. Right. Well, that's not the whole call though, and there's other people that have posted that too. Ike Stevens' new sub channels have posted that. Cameron, what's up? Old fat white guy. Logic Neo, yeah. Have you hit the thumbs up today? Thank you, little Viking coach. TJ Jones, what's up? When I get out to California, you're buying. Okay, we're talking about In and Out. bigrigceo, I mean, I don't want that to be mixed up with bigger or big rig here. Did Warner lose 150 million was on the other side of the interstate? Yeah, I think it was 90 million. Yeah, there is an out in Texas now. Texas is hands-free for all vehicles. Right, coach just had a really bad day and should have waited to do a live feed. Right, that's the thing. When you have, I warned another YouTuber about being emotional when you go live or when you do a video, and I'll be honest, it was Trucker's Table. I went off on him on Zello because of something he said during a video, and he blamed it on him being stressed out. I'm like, and I told him, I said, dude, here's the thing. Don't do a YouTube video when you're stressed out, when you're emotional. Because you might do, especially live feeds, you might do or say something that will bite you in the butt later. And I said, and if you're doing a recorded video, you should watch it before you upload it. And he ended up taking the video down. If you say anything, you should just say I was involved in an accident, and that's the extent of it. Exactly, Jeff. Always some kind of BS drama on Coach's channel. I'm so glad it's never on Mr. Jeff's channel, says Thomas Wilson. Good morning, Miss Jeff. Y'all have a great day. What's wrong with the Green Machine, Snowlord? Nothing. I mean, knock on wood, but, I got a little bit of an air leak somewhere, but I can't find it. Daniel Adami, what's up? Anthony T, Denise White. We are fine. Team Tiny. Rates are crazy high this week. I agree with you, Provost. I've been playing this short game 3 o'clock hustle, and it's been working. You can't rely on your whole business doing this, but it worked for the short game that I needed this week. Okay, old fat white guy. Social media is nothing more than a platform for people to feel like they're above someone else. You can't give good advice without getting crapped on. Not worth it at all. I hear you, old man. What's 60 million among friends, right? And that was something that coach was throwing out there, was how many subs he had over how many subs James had. And to me, that's kind of, well, it's irrelevant, because I know channels that have the best information that might have 12 subscribers simply because of where they're at in YouTube. There are much bigger YouTube channels than me that do the same exact content I do, and I don't get upset over it. I don't get jealous over it. It doesn't bother me that I've been doing this for 10 years and I'm only at where I'm at, because I'm happy doing my YouTube. It's a hobby for me. It's got me in trouble, and it's and I've been in bad light before, and it's a give and take. I almost took down this channel because of some hateful things that someone said. Like when Little Dog's kid was sick, right? There were trolls actually telling him that they wished his daughter was dead, right? That's the level of seriousness that people take. Now, the other interesting thing that happened last night is I got to hang out with Pigtail, and I'm here in his hometown, and we had dinner, and we chatted for like hours, right? And we this came up because the feed was going down at that time, and I'm like, there are people that take this YouTube stuff so seriously that they wish death upon your kids, right? That to me, that's a level of insanity, and that's what social media brings. So you don't think a lawyer doesn't know how to exploit that? You don't think a lawyer knows how to take that and run with it? Because social media plays upon the emotions of people. Look at your Facebook feed. There are people that get like pros. I've been on Facebook for 3 months. I'm happier. My wife says that, right? Because social media is designed to inform and stir up emotions. Whether the information is correct or not doesn't matter. They want to stir up emotion. Let's create a fear of this so we can sell you that. Let's create a fear of that so we can sell you this. Let's create a problem so we can have people that need to solve that problem, so we'll help them solve that problem. Social media is so easy to do that with. And so if I decide to run for president, right? If I decide to run for president, I got some steam to it, right? What's going to happen? Everybody's going to check out my social media. Everybody's going to look at my entire life history of what can be found. And they're going to, the people that hate me are going to exploit me for that. And the people that love me are going to praise me for this. And it's all based around social media. That's why elections are so nasty now. That's why, think about the old political ads, how they've gotten worse, right? Well, now they can use social media platform to manipulate your emotions to get you to vote one way or another. Most of the people that hate the president don't actually know his policies or whatever, and this is not a political statement, so we're stopping right there. Yeah, some YouTubers are stuck on subscriber numbers, and it's all about the percentage of people that watch you. If you have, say, 10,000 subscribers, and you look at your videos and they get an average of 100 views, that's not a very good percentage. But if you have 10,000 subscribers, or if you have 1,000 subscribers, right, and you get about 1,000 views for each video, who's doing better, right? It's all about watch time and actions and reactions. It's all about the percentages. You can have 1 million subscribers, but if only 100 people are watching, that video looks like crap to YouTube, right? But if you have 1,000 subscribers with 1 million views on a video, YouTube loves that. Now you have a viral video. What happens with viral videos? It gets out there. Everybody and their mother's putting it out there. And that is what social media does. So you can brag about subscribers, but the views is what you should be bragging about, right? If you need to brag. If you look at my percentage, it's not very high. I've got, 3,200 subscribers, but yet I might get 600 to 1,000 views on one of my better videos, but my regular vlogs, people don't care about that. So I might be lucky to get 100, 200 views, and you never know what could go viral. I did a video about my top 10 apps that I used in the spot market. I figured that would go viral, right? It's not even broken 200 views, and it's got Samsung in the title. It's got apps in the title. It's got all these things that you would think that a person searching would look for, but it hasn't done squat. Meanwhile, I say something negative in a title, boom, it gets 1,000 views, right? Grafton, what's up? Go to bed. My daddy can beat up your daily Riley. Snow Alert, my favorite propagandist. LOL. Agent Orange, what's up? Big Houston, Snow Alert for president. Absolutely not. Snow Alert, the man of the wisdom. That's why I keep coming back. That's the truth. Welcome back. Thank you. I almost have 500 subscribers, and my videos only get about between 80 and 125 views per video, right? Now, if you have 10,000 subscribers, right, and you go live and you only get like 10 people in there, you can't sit there and claim, well, 10,000 people are interested in what I have to say. No, 10 people are interested in what you have to say at that moment. And then later in the week, if the video gets up to 100 views, then, okay, 100 people out of 10,000 give a crap about what you say. So it's all about the views, and some of these bigger YouTubers have really incredible numbers. I'm seeing 200 and 300 people in their live feeds, which is great, but it doesn't necessarily, like, if I've had videos that were worthless to me that got a ton of people in the live feed and a ton of views. It never fails. When I don't have anything to say, I get 100 people in my live feed. And when I've got something to say, like today, I might get 20, right? Right now I'm showing 50. So, but I don't really focus on that. Now, I will say this. If you're a smaller YouTube channel, by smaller, I mean under 1,000, to go live and only have 2 or 3 people in there, it could be kind of, you're basically having an open-ended phone conversation is what you're having. And live feeds are more fun when there's more interaction. That's why we do it. You know, if I did a live feed and if no one, if like notifications never went out and nobody was in this live feed, how long do you think this video would last? So there's a level of narcissism of why we all YouTubers love to go live, because there's a certain fun aspect, and we're all narcissists in our own ways. Even if you want to help somebody, you want to be the all-knowing, I'm going to help people, right? Why do you help people? Because it feels good. That's a self-preservation thing. I do something because it feels good. Me, right? So it's all part of the game, right? And there's nothing wrong with that. You know, and you can look at it like, well, I want to help the trucking industry because the better people have their act together, well, then it won't affect me negatively, to where I can make more money. So there's always some kind of self-preservation, right? There's always some kind of this, yeah, I'm going to benefit you, but it benefits me too. And that's business. That's life, you know? If you give food to a homeless guy, it's because you want to feel good about yourself, but you want to help them. There's nothing wrong with that. But at the same time, you still get something in it. You know, oh, he sacrificed his last bit of food to give to this guy. You know, what a sacrifice. No, he did it to make himself feel good. Maybe he had a bad day. Maybe giving back makes them less depressed. It helps their life. It enriches their life. It's a part of gratitude, right? And so you have YouTubers like Jeffrey Like and bigrigceo that generally want to help people better their lives in this tough industry we call trucking. And what it does, it spreads positive energy. It spreads, you know, and maybe, you know, there were a couple of guys that called in Coach's video, the second video he did afterwards. Some of these guys didn't have numbers. Some of these guys had multiple trucks and didn't know how insurance worked. You know, and there's a lot of people that that need guidance in this industry, because the industry likes the new guys. They like new, naive people that don't know what they're doing. So they can ream you on insurance. They can ream you on a lease payment. They can ream you on their company policies, right? They want the new guy. They want the new inexperienced guy that hasn't been around the block, so they can tell them, manipulate them, and lie to them and steal from them. That's how this industry is. So the more of us that do that, maybe the less that happens. And then you got situations like Celadon where, you know, the company goes down because of fraud and everything else. So, and so, but it's still to our benefit to do that, right? So there's no such thing as a completely selfless act, you know, unless you're jumping in front of a bullet, you know, in front of a person to take a bullet for somebody. That's completely selfless. But beyond that, we all do things for a reason. And social media is a platform that can make or break you. Because in the trucking world, it gets especially tricky. There's a lot of companies that have a no YouTube or no social media policy in place. Then there are other companies that get their name out there because of YouTube, right? But you have to worry about the legal aspects. You know, do you do live feeds while driving down the road? Do you talk about, you know, is a broker going to want to use your company if you're talking bad about their company on YouTube or on Facebook, right? And, you know, I know that if I was an agent for, say, Landstar, and there was a driver on YouTube bashing Landstar over and over and over about this detail and that detail and everything else, I would not want to use that driver. You know, and brokers look at the same way. I did a live feed one time, and our Coyote guy, he called me and said, Steve, I really appreciated your last video. It was really good. Thank you for what you do. And I'm like, wow. So they're watching. Schneider's watching. They're all watching. They have people, the bigger companies have people in the offices to, all they do is scan YouTube, Facebook, Google, to find anything that's ever been said about their company. You know, I can go on YouTube right now and type in Snorlord, and I can look at all my videos. I can look at anybody who's ever mentioned me in the title, anybody who's ever talked to me, anybody who's ever mentioned my name, because, you know, the AI goes by what you're saying too. You know, that's why you got guys that say big rig, 18-wheeler, CDL holder. I just help my, you know, algorithms for this video. And by saying all that, you know, new owner operator, Schneider, Landstar, Like Trucking, you know, all that stuff, YouTube feeds it, reads it, and puts it out there. And so that's how your count and views come up, is, you know, it's just like Provost putting Volvo in his titles, because it helps the numbers, because you got to know what people are looking for. And these companies pay people to look for any social media that can come back and bite them, or they can take advantage. Like, look, 15 YouTube channels talk really good about this company, so we can take that, market it, and put it out there that, hey, we're highly recommended among YouTubers, right? And so you know, it's just like when they advertise a movie, right? What do? Oh, they have quotes from all these critics, right? So, well, if Siskel and Ebert says it's good, or, you know, I don't know who the big movie critics are now, then it must be good, right? So you go watch the movie regardless, because it's based off of someone else's opinion. They market that. That's how social media is used on steroids, right? And so, but it can also be a double-edged sword. And Daniel, the reason why views are down because you don't consistently put out videos. The YouTube channels that talk about growing your channel, you got to be putting out at least 1 or 2 or 3 videos a week. Consistency is the key. Next time you go live, Jeff, I will call in. I must have missed something. My last video got over 300 views. Big Houston. So what you do is you take a look at how you title it, what did you talk about, and do more of that. Do the video, Big Rig Radio, it's a duty, head, boom, viral video. Sad to say, but people say they hate drama, and that's what they click on, drama. Well, it's entertaining. We all watch it, you know, it's entertaining, and that's why wrestling's so popular. That's why TV shows exist, because we want, you know, that's why Ice Road Truckers, what do? They create this drama for a scenario that us truck drivers can relate to, and the common public thinks that they can relate to, and it's entertaining to watch. I will get a haircut in March. I'm only doing it for 1 year. In March will be 1 year. It's just an experiment with what I'm doing with my hair, so please leave my hair alone. I like Daniel's hair. I think you should keep it. You learned a lot in this video, Don. I appreciate that. Pray for Jay. Yeah, we live in the thoughts and prayers society. There's nothing wrong with sending good vibes and prayers and all that. You know, I see no problem with that. Snowlord, these are your absolute best video and live feeds. Please never change the way you do your channel. You speak straight from the heart. Thank you. Yukon, what's up? I just bid 10.5 for a New Jersey to California and back, and they accepted. Wow, pros. Holy crap. Look at you go. Dang. Yukon is watching. I thought I bored you, Yukon. The company I drive for has a social media department. They do nothing but watch and interact on social media. Right, Anthony T. Well, look at Trucker Jim and GMP. I talked to him at Matt's, and that's he gets paid to do the social media stuff. He has 2 channels, one for GMP and one for himself, and he gets paid pretty well to be the social media guy, because his job is to put GMP in a positive light, right? And so when you do that, you have to have damage control as well. And so trucking companies are paying attention to the social media. Film it, they don't watch. Pretty simple, true logic, right? Well, even when I was putting up out videos on a content, I was still only getting about the same. Anyways, well, Daniel, if you're putting out videos for views, you got to figure out what people want. If you're doing videos just for yourself as a hobby, then don't let the numbers bother you. Because like when I do my music videos, I don't get AdSense from that. It's just something I enjoy doing, you know? And as long as the publisher doesn't have any issues with me putting the song up, then we're good, right? And so I don't even like pay attention, like, okay, there was a video I did playing a thrash metal band during a traffic jam I was in Georgia, right? It's all sped up. It was kind of chaotic, and that's what the song is. And I think it had like 200 views the last time I looked, you know? And it doesn't bother me, because I understand that my music's not everybody's cup of tea. Those videos are not everybody's cup of tea. Some people watch YouTube for the vlogs. Some people watch YouTube for the information. Some people just watch YouTube for whatever. The drama doesn't matter, right? And I try to do a little bit of everything. And sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't, you know? And sometimes it makes people create troll channels that say I'm boring. Adam, thank you. Oh, awesome. Good deal, man. Numbers take time, right? bigrigceo took bigrigceo about what, a year to get up to what are you up to, 1,400? And that's about right. That's about where I was. And what helped me is when I first started, I was one of like maybe 2 other guys doing YouTube videos about Landstar, talking about Landstar. And so here's the thing. So you take Trucker's Table, right? He did a video about the what Landstar does and is, and that video's got quite a few hits. But the rest of his video, and I recommended this to him to put Landstar. I even gave him my old title, Landstar Life. He puts that in title, but he doesn't really talk about, and I'm not bashing you, Triple T, if you're watching. I just want to give some constructive advice. So he talks about what he did, but people want to know how, right? So if you're a new Landstar guy and you come across Triple T's video that's just talking about, well, I picked up here, dropped off there, I was worried about this, and it's cold tonight, you know, that kind of thing, and here's my dog taking a poop, they're not going to watch anymore because you're not giving them information that they're looking for. So you have to know your audience. So if everybody clicked on this one video where you did give detailed Landstar information, and then your other videos aren't getting the same views, then obviously those people were wanting the Landstar information. So if you want your channel to grow, you have to feed off that and exploit that and utilize that to get your numbers up. So more how, not what. More why, not where, right? And you know, still do your same videos, but if you want numbers, you got to put out some stuff that the rest of your sub count wants, right? So and so I have I don't know, what am I up to on my sub count? I can't look right now. Well, actually, I think I hid that number. Let's see, where am I at here? My YouTube studio. I'm at 32. And those of you who think that we make the, well, I don't make a ton of money off YouTube. There's my revenue for YouTube this month. Where is it? I can't aim right. $43.04. In the last 20 days, I've had 8.6 thousand views on my channel. Some people get that in one video. So I have just not overanalyzed and know what my audience wants, because people go, well, Steve, I love your live feeds, but yet the replays don't get a whole lot of traction. Some people are like, I really love it when you put music to driving, but yet the numbers don't reflect that. Right? So, you know, and that's fine. I do it for myself. You know, I do it to feel good. I'm a narcissist, right? That's why I played that's why I played in a band and got on stage and screamed and wanted people to applaud me for doing it. It's a narcissistic action, you know. So, and that's usually the motivation of doing a YouTube channel. It's either money or narcissism or both. And I fall under the both category, but I'm just not very good at it. So, did I order if I did order a portable toilet, welcome back. That's something I don't talk about on YouTube. I don't go into details. I did one video about options of where you pee, and that was it. And I didn't even spell, I think I spelled it all messed up because on purpose, right? So there's some things, you know, like shouldn't be talked about. You got me addicted to the apnea song, The Mantra. That drummer is awesome. Well, thank you, Don. I hope that if you go to my old channel, I put up a mantra with the lyrics. So I hope you like the lyrics. It's about the law of attraction. I think the reason I got a lot of views is because I got to meet Trucker Jukebox. Yeah, anytime you latch on to a bigger YouTuber, it will get views. I'll just leave it at that. Yeah, I did a live video parody, you know, and it still holds true to today. And I find myself doing some of those things, and it was when live feeds were new, so everybody was kind of like fumbling through it, like somebody doing it for the first time. And Paul Mayhofer, every time he sees me at a truck show, and it's the only thing he tells me. He goes, hey man, hey Steve, how's it going? Hey, I really enjoyed your live parody. I think that was the best video ever. That's all he watches, is that video. Yukon says, latch on to me. What's my music channel? Adam, go to bandcamp.com and type in apnea 1. And you'll have my music. It'll be 2 capital A's on each side of the word. And we're from Springfield, Missouri. All my music is there. And you can listen to it without downloading an app, and it'll stream. It'll stream. So they say a blog is a conversation with no one wanted to have with you. Live streaming is about finding people that are willing to have that conversation. That's a good point, Spooby. Welcome back. That's funny. Asian My Show, what's up? So, anyways, I thought I'd put those thoughts out there. There's a lot of legal stuff that was being said last night in this back and forth thing, and between Coach and bigrigceo, and there was a lot of good points made that if you're a driver, company or owner, if you're a carrier owner, if you're a safety director somewhere, it's something that you need to take note of. You know, I know somebody that put up a video talking about one night he was really tired and was driving, and he almost had a wreck. And when he went to apply for a job, guess what? They found that video and they said, we think that you're unsafe, and didn't hire him. So you have to be careful of what you put out there on social media. Like, okay, so let me ask you this. So if Jeffrey Light closed his doors tomorrow, which, you know, we're not in any danger of doing that, but I'm just saying, how many of you would hire me as a owner operator or a company driver, and why? And if you wouldn't, tell me why you wouldn't. Only one person, Thomas Wilson. Well, you know, so be it, right? Scott, Thomas Wilson, trust. Thomas, thank you. I would not ever order a portable toilet, but if I did, I would tell nobody without question, because you're a professional and a good friend. Oh my God, I need to make a video. Snorler said, like, trucking is closing. I would, because you're honest. You're honest and avoid getting into the name calling and drama. You're a professional. I would. Trucking along with Kiersey. There's a proper way to talk about something in a non-proper way, right? So if I feel a YouTuber is scamming somebody, you don't accuse them of scamming somebody. You sit there and you politely say, buyer beware of this scenario, this situation, and therefore no lawyer can come back and say, hey, you know, you were talking bad about my client and caused him money. No, I was just saying, this is how I would get into this. This is how I would do this. And you don't need to pay to do that in general. And it's up to the person to differentiate who I'm talking about, what I'm talking about, and make your decisions, because it's a generalized thing. Because there are people that may not even know about this other YouTube scam or whatever you want to call it going on, right? And so there's a right way to talk about stuff and a wrong way to talk about stuff. And I try to do it right, you know. Sometimes I fail. Lingering, great tune, thank you. Is that me or band, and what and hell, and yeah, hell, I would hire you. I appreciate that, Don. Yes, Apnea was my band I was in for a long time. I have a new band in theory, but we haven't practiced in a while. My old band was a death metal band with some singing in there here and there. Very heavy, so it's not everybody's cup of tea, and I understand that. So I don't get insulted when people say your band sucks, you know. Okay, whatever. So, but yeah, I had a JB Hunt driver approach me. He was wearing a death metal T-shirt, so I handed him one of our CDs. We were at Walmart in Groveport, and he walks up to me. He's like, how the hell do you drive a truck and have a band? So I kind of told him what the scenario was at Schneider, because it's like, look, dude, if you're an owner operator, you gotta self-dispatch so you can get to those gigs and have the extra money so you can have the time to do this, and it kind of blew his mind a little bit, you know, because he was struggling in his band because he was on the road too much. Daniel has all of our music. Some of you YouTubers are opportunists and have a money addiction, and want yours, right? So, but that's the power of the YouTube. You know, that's the power of social media. You know, there are people who say that they would hire me in a minute. So as long as I don't do something stupid, I'm always going to have a job. I'm always going to have a place to go. Jason Perry, what's up? Anyways, we're going to do this for a few more minutes, and then we're going to call it a wrap. I appreciate the comments. If you're new to this channel, welcome. And if you like it, cool. If not, no big deal. Hold on a second. Hey, that green hauler at the Green Kenworth, man, your side door is open. You're losing stuff. You ever notice the people that need the CB radio the most don't have it on? This guy is losing his stuff all over the parking lot. His door's just a flapping. Oh well, I tried. No CB. It's I don't know. Seems like grain haulers usually have them on, but you know, they're cool haulers. Definitely hard to be a trucker in a band. I failed that at least a few times. It is hard. You have to have band members that are understanding of what you have to do. So all the guys in my band, well, one of them is my wife. You know, she's in the band, and the other two guys have other bands. They have other projects, and we're not trying to be the next Metallica. You know, we're not trying to be famous rock stars. You know, and so we're not under this delusion of grandeur. We're not under this like we're gonna make it, so you better get off the road and dedicate all your time to. No, we're all homeowners, parents. You know, we could care less. You know, with the internet, you don't have to be signed to get your music out there anymore. I'd hire you if you had something like that. You're better than you give yourself credit for. Southbound Jay, I appreciate that. I didn't realize that was you on guitar, man. Y'all kick. My neck is still sore. Well, cool, Don. I'm glad you enjoy it. That's me on guitar and vocals. So, anyways, guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. I hope this has been a good discussion. I'm trying to up the quality of my live feeds, and I hope that I'm getting some good feedback. Pigtail and I were talking last night. We talked for hours, and he just, you know, he and I have become good friends, and we talk about the YouTube universe. That's how we met. I've met a lot of really good people because of YouTube. You know, Pale Rider is one of my very good friends. Jeffrey Like, who's taken me on as one of his contractors, and it's all based around YouTube, you know. And so I try to stay humble. I don't, you know, maybe my actions would be different if I had way more sub counts or way more views, but at the same time, if people genuinely like you, they'll watch. But if people genuinely hate you, they'll also watch. It's the Howard Stern effect, you know. If you watch Private Parts by Howard Stern, you know, the movie, you know, there's a scene where the ratings were through the roof, and half the people listened because they hated him, and the other half people listened because they loved it, and they both just wanted to hear what he was gonna say. So that's how social media is. If you get people from the left, rah rah rah, and people from the right, rah rah rah, you still get the analytics from both sides. Any press is good press. And so, you know, that is the double-edged sword of social media. So with that being said, be safe, be good, help a fellow person out, and I appreciate every single one of you. So